Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to the messages and readings for the month of August 2022. This month we are reminded that we are here for a reason, that we signed up, and that we matter. If you've never done a video like this with me, I will read the channel messages from the Akashic Records to you, and then I will explain what I think they mean, and then I always end with a card reading for basically an outlook of the entire month. So if this is your first time here, thank you for joining me. And anytime this message finds you, whether it is August of 2022 or sometime in the near future, just know it'll be relevant and you were meant to find it when you did. So as I usually suggest, I think putting in earbuds or headphones while I read the message to you and closing your eyes is really the best way to take it in. So this is the message that I channeled in the Akashic Records for us. The world seems to be at a tipping point. Everything feels like it is building and building and building. Like a volcano that is ready to explode, filling with hot magma, everything feels hard. Emotions are just under the surface. People feel raw. People feel tired. There is much to deal with. Much in the world is coming to light. Things feel difficult. Things feel pressurized. Like a pressure cooker. That's kind of the image I was given. But we are with you. Your angels and guides are with you. You have signed up to be here. If you are watching this video, you are part of the soul family that belongs with Jenny. It's always weird to read myself in third person. She shares these messages to inspire to give you what you need to hear. What you need to hear right now is that you are meant to be here. You signed up to be here. You're a group of souls that are meant to connect to one another through prayer, through meditation. Every act of spirituality, every time you heal a part of yourself, every kindness you give to another person, every moment you reflect on being contented and grateful, every time you send a prayer, every time you meditate, you shift the world. Sometimes it may feel small or not enough. The world can be an overwhelming place. But so many more of you are waking up and sharing your light. You are shifting the balance of this planet. You are bringing in the new earth. But remember, birth is messy, difficult. It is called labor for a reason. Bringing in a new earth isn't going to be easy, but we are confident that together you can do it. When things get hard, take the small steps. What is one small thing you can do for your legacy of light today? And do that and know that it is enough. Know that you are enough, that you matter, that you are meant to be here. The world is not too much for you. Let yourself rest, let yourself feel, but never deny that you matter. Never deny your purpose. Every little act of light, every little act of spirituality, every little act of healing, it all adds up to be so very much. At times you may feel isolated and alone in your healing and in your spiritual journey, but know that there are people around the world that are connected to you. You have a large soul family. And when you heal, you not only heal yourself, but add to the healing of the planet, to the collective soul of the people, of humanity. Remember that you matter and that you are always leaving light. And we are grateful for you. I think this message is very needed right now. I think since 2020 and the worldwide pandemic, things have felt extremely difficult. I am not saying life was easy prior to that. But I think for a lot of people, a shift started in 2012, and then it got accelerated in 2020. This message talks a lot about a new earth, and there is a great book by Eckhart Tolle called The New Earth, which if you've never read, I recommend it. I've read it several times. But this idea that we have a chance to shift the consciousness of the planet is not a new idea. It's in all kinds of spiritual and religious texts. I One of my hobbies is reading older metaphysical, occult, spiritual texts. And, as early as what I can see is like the 30s, people were talking about shifting consciousness and creating a new earth. And this is in modern spirituality. Now, I think this predates even that, because it's talked about, like I said, in ancient texts, in Hindu and indigenous texts, in like the Mayan and the Aztec beliefs. I mean, a lot of those have been erased, but what we know is that everybody could see things going one way and that there would be a chance to fix things. And it's very interesting because it kept reminding us that we're here for a reason. So I'm thinking that as a collective whole, a lot of us are feeling the struggle. I know that for me personally, I've been very tired and very I guess discouraged. I'm happy with the people that do watch these videos, but I'm discouraged that not that many people watch them. I think the most a reading like this has received is like 50 people, which I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful for you watching. However, I feel like it keeps talking about how we have a really large soul family, and so I really feel the reason why I do this stuff is to connect on a grander level with that soul family. And so that's been my personal journey. If you don't know, I was a classroom teacher, and a series of really interesting events led me to a very abrupt spiritual awakening. I was spiritual my whole life. I've always been a spiritual person, meditated and all that. But this was like a shift. Like, you're going to wake up, and you're going to wake up now. And that was prior to 2020. It was 2019. I don't think that was a coincidence. I think that I was meant to be a leader in this awakening, and I was pushed to that quicker to accelerate that awakening. So when people started waking up in 2020, I could be there to help them. But yes, it's been an interesting journey for me. It's not been easy, and it's not been... my videos haven't been widely accepted or received as I would like. I'm not saying that it won't be someday, but I'm just saying that's been my personal struggle. And I think we're all having personal struggles, but they're amplified by the global struggles, the things we see in the news. And every day it's something, every day. And it's always been like that. The news has always been a not nice thing to turn to, but everything feels harder right now. And I think that's what they're talking about. And it's interesting because it's the first time I've ever heard them refer to themselves. Like, they say that we are grateful for you at the end, and that we are, we're with you. And this is, and your angels and guides are with you. So when I go into the Akashic Records, I call on the Masters of the Records. I call on my galactic team, which I learned early on. I don't know who they are, but they're there in the records, and I seem to only be able to access them there. And then I called on all of our spirit guides and angels for our soul family. And so it's interesting that they say that we're with you, and also your angels and guides are with you. So they are someone else, or as a collective, which I just find cool and interesting. So I wanted to point that out. I think they just really appreciate their acknowledging how hard things are right now. Because everyone I talk to who's a spiritual person, or even isn't, is just struggling. There's a lot of struggle right now. And I like that they kind of said it's similar to birth. We're birthing a new consciousness and a shift in the planet, and it's a labor, it's difficult. Because it definitely feels like that. And I also mentioned the volcano, the pressure building and things erupting. It's like, that makes sense too, because the volcano erupts, and then it's ugly at first and kind of scary and devastating. There's a lot of destruction and chaos, and then it cools, and it's very fertile land. And it's, why islands have so many plants, and it's verdant and happy. The ugly has to come out to fertilize for the new. And I think that's where we are right now. We're in the stage of building, pressure, and ugliness coming out in general. And I think this whole message is just to remind us that we're here for a reason. We signed up to be here. We matter. I like that they talk about how Every little act matters, because I know for me, sometimes I'll think, not anymore, but I will say when I was first on the spiritual path, like it felt selfish, like, what am I doing? Like, is it really helpful that I'm meditating right now? Like, when there's so many people struggling and, why am I doing this? But even like, in Buddhism, they talk about how a monastery will basically lift the vibration or the consciousness of the surrounding area through their meditation. Like it changes the energy for everybody near them, not just for them. And so you meditating in your apartment, wherever you are, it's affecting people in ways you can't even understand, right? Because we're all energy and we all respond to energy. And so just, saying a prayer, some meditation, like it's not selfish. It is necessary, I think, for you if you're like me and you're my soul family, right? It's necessary for our own spiritual growth, our own well-being. I need, every day I get up and I pray, I meditate. I need those things. Like it's a necessity for my own personal well-being. I've always prayed multiple times a day. I've just always been like that since I was a child. And it's something that isn't selfish at all. And I like that they let us know that. Like it may seem like a little act that you're sending a prayer. Maybe you pray for the children of the world every day. You may feel like that's not enough. I should be doing more. It's something. And if everyone did this stuff, everyone meditated and everyone prayed, think about how nice the world would be, right? So it is a small act, but it adds, right? All of this adds up, and us doing it together is really, really powerful. And I like how they talk about how we are a family, and when we meditate and pray, it's like we're connecting to one another. I think that's really beautiful. I'm thinking I would like to start some kind of group eventually. Seems like Facebook is the only real option, but if you have other ideas, please let me know. But I feel like it would be nice for us to connect and have each other in a way, right? Even if a virtual way. I think that's part of why social media exists, is to connect us in that way. That's the positive part of it. But yes, I feel that they're acknowledging that we need to rest, that things feel overwhelming and hard. I know it's been extremely hot where I live, and it has been for many people, and that's just more pointing to change, and feel scary and tense when it's that hot. And it's okay. It's okay to have the feelings. It's okay to rest, but keep doing what you're doing and know that you matter. That's just, I don't think it can be said enough. And I love that they're grateful for us. That's such a beautiful, beautiful thing to tell us. And I'm grateful for their guidance. So I think this is a really positive message. I want to know how it resonates with you. Please let me know if you're not comfortable sharing down in the comments. You can find me on Instagram and tell me in a message. I would like to know how this resonates with you. But please stick around and I will do a reading for the month of August. Okay, I have a few different decks to look at today. Let's see what comes up. First, I'm going to try Enchanted Forest, which is a really beautiful, beautiful deck for us. Wild Rose Fairy, Love. So I think this is love in all kinds of levels, right? Wild roses, they just are something you stumble upon out in the forest, in nature, and it's something special and magical, enchanted. It's not forced, it's not planted, right? So this is love where we find it. There's a beautiful Bjork song, All Is Love, which talks about that. All the love you put out, it comes back to you, but not in the way that you may want sometimes, but it always comes back to you. And so that's what this is making me think of. Stag Spirit Leadership. So we received messages about we are leaving a legacy of light and we are a family. And so I think we're asked to be leaders, and it doesn't mean you have to go out and make your own YouTube video and do these things. It's just taking the spiritual high road, letting people know that you meditate. It can be very simple and just, letting them know that that's the path you're on without going full on out of the spiritual closet, right? But just being a leader in any way that you find the ability to do so, right? Phoenix, Transmutation. We have a lot of like fire energy, summer energy. It's when I know all the deer around me are starting to get their full antlers right now. So we have this fire energy for August, which makes sense. We have the Leo energy, right? Transmutation, allowing, it's not just change. This is burning away old karma, burning away what no longer serves, and allowing yourself to be reborn. So maybe, you know, as part of the new earth shift, we are also being reborn. And I think this is reminding us that we can do this. You know, every time you heal something, it's hope for the whole planet. It really is. Foggy bog, patience. That's not one of my strengths, I'll be honest with you. But I think that's part of it too, right? It's like, why can't people just wake up already? Or why can't people just figure it out? Why is the world the way it is? Why do we have to go through the ugly? That's not for us to know, right? And that's part of the patience. So yeah, I think that's got a couple of birds and a stag and a fairy. I wanted to, this isn't really a deck for divination so much, but it's a chakra deck. And I just was curious, you know, I'm gonna close my eyes so I don't pick a certain color. What's something we need to maybe look at? It's a yoga deck. So this is the yoga pose. And it's a spinal flex, where basically if you've ever done a cat-cow, it's like that, but sitting. You can also probably do a cat-cow. But I wanted to pick it for the mantra. I am in the flow of my life, right? So we're looking at our sacral chakra, which makes sense with all the fire energy coming up. And working on our spine, being flexible, and I'm in the flow of my life. I love that. I have a new secret geometry deck that I want to pull from for us. Let's see. We have the Flower of Life, which is one of my favorite geometries. So if you've not ever really looked at this geometry, it's an interlacing of circles. We have an angel holding it up for us, and it says the lesson, right? So it's a lesson that we're all interconnected, that everything comes full circle, right? Very beautiful. The angels there, it's like how they told us they're grateful for us and they're with us. That's what that's reminding me of. Like they're holding it up for us. And I also got a new, I'm not a big Abraham Hicks fan. I have mixed feelings actually about the messages of Abraham Hicks, but so far I really liked this. It's called their Vortex, Into the Vortex Relationship deck. Everything is always working out for me. That's really nice. Nothing ever goes wrong because every piece of contrast, no matter how wrong it seems to be, is always helping you to clarify what it is you do want. And that is the thing that we want you to remember most of all, the contrast. No matter how it looks in any moment is contributing mightily to your expansion. The things that you call things going wrong in your life experience are actually only the distance between the things that are so right and your current perspective about them. I hope this resonates with you, and I hope you have a beautiful August. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like my video and share with a friend.